Okay, this week on the Casual Cave podcast, an IGN writer gets in hot water for plagiarism. DC announces 2 new additions to their cinematic and television universes. Nintendo drops massive news regarding Smash Ultimate. And lastly, we discuss Take-Two's inside look at Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay.
Yeehaw.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Casual Cave podcast for August 12th, 2018. I am Sinan, that is Denrick,
Hello.
and that is Dominic.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
I'm doing well. How was your guys' weekend?
It was okay. It was okay. I mean, some things had happened I'm not too happy about, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about this week's events.
It's a very interesting week for sure. There is a lot to talk about. Some may say it's mostly bad, but there's some good too.
Oh, I'm excited for a lot of the stuff we're talking about today.
There's actually one thing that's just bad.
Yeah, all right. So now let's start us off.
So earlier this week on Monday, IGN published their Dead Cells review. Kind of an indie game platformer that's been in early access since October, I believe.
For a while now, yeah.
That's when I first got my hands into it. It's a really fun game. After IGN published their video review, a YouTuber by the name of Boomstick Gaming published several videos to Reddit, YouTube, Twitter that kind of went viral, claiming IGN stole my video or IGN stole my review. What do I do next?
Yeah, it blew up. Yeah, we all saw the video, right?
Yeah. Well, for Boomstick's video, it was interesting. He kind of presented the way I was like, there's something weird about this. What should I do?
Something weird. It was a little more than weird.
It's more than just weird. It was just like, why does it look kind of similar?
So in preparation for this, I thought that could be a fun topic to talk about for today. I called Dominic, I believe it was on Tuesday evening. I was like, hey, did you see this video? He's like, well, his initial reaction was, yeah, and these companies like IGN, they're probably going to get away with it because, chances are that while they probably have similar phrases, they're going to ultimately...
Yeah, I hadn't watched the video yet. I'm thinking, okay, there's like a couple of steps, the same steps they take. And I watched the video, and it's like, seriously, it's like 10 lines. Like, what is this guy doing?
It's a fast, fluid... And there are certain buzzwords that you can use in your reviews. I feel like the games journalism industry is very good with that.
This is also back to basic English too. Might I add. It's if you put this on paper, it looks very similar.
So after this video comes out, it blows up, IGN takes their look at it and promptly fires the writer Philip Mewson. And there's 2 things I kind of want to talk about. One was the all-out attack on IGN, and the second part of this would be Philip's reaction video, or Philip's quote unquote apology video,
which was actually recent. It was like not even a day ago.
I hadn't heard about it till last night. So
I just told you guys before we got on today, so it kind of just added more fuel to the fire. So
obviously the backlash to this was IGN, we hate you. IGN, we've known this all along. And to be fair, I tend to take IGN's reviews with a grain of salt.
I think everyone should.
I think a lot of people do.
It's been a while.
The thing is that they are a respected entity.
No, I mean, absolutely. They wouldn't...
You don't have to like them.
If they knew that this was happening, they obviously wouldn't let this go. I think they handled the whole thing as good as they could have, really.
Yeah, because our focus is on the guy, more than guy now than the actual company.
Yeah, well, Dominic, you and I kind of both work in offices, and I think we both know the amount of QA/QC or quality control that goes into products that you turn to customers. Oftentimes, if it's a not, I wouldn't say that. No offense to Dead Cells, but it's not really a AAA game that everyone's been looking forward to for years. No. It's a respectable platformer. It's a very fun platformer.
I mean, I'll say this, I didn't hear about the game until this controversy. I had no idea what this was.
Yeah, because of this controversy, I looked it up. Well, not the game, but more what's surrounding it. I do feel bad for the people.
I mean, they got free publicity.
There is publicity, but at the cost of like this.
I do feel bad for the fine people that work at IGN. Because you going after them is really, it's there is no way that whoever Philip's boss was at IGN, there's no way they're going to go through and watch millions of videos to make sure that their staffs aren't.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, they, at IGN, they did, like, their due diligence. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but on the same Reddit thread, someone from IGN, I don't know who it was, but they came in there and they said, you know what, we saw this guy playing the game. They posted an image of his profile and said he had 45 hours of play time in this game. So it's not like he just didn't play the game at all and copied this review. So IGN did their due part, I think.
Yeah, they did. It's just more about this particular person or the groups involved rather than in general.
No, it's an incredibly unprofessional thing to do. I think we've all taken English college classes.
I was going to say, this is also a learning lesson for anyone out there that goes from like basic English or whether you're doing journalism, any type of work that involves like being unbiased and using sources. If you're going to, at the very least, do something like this, at least be more. Don't be lazy. Don't be original. Yeah, don't be unbiased, and don't have a bias.
What confused me the most about this is like I just don't know what was going through his head. Like I get it. Like maybe you're running out of time. You have to get this video out. So you're getting a little desperate, and you go on a channel that maybe isn't as popular, and you decide to take some points. But why don't you just I mean, you shouldn't do this in the first place. But if you're going to do it, why don't you just paraphrase? He's taking like exact lines.
No, yeah. If you put it on paper, it looks structurally, it looks so similar. It's not even funny.
My favorite thing was when there was a timestamp of a line that matched up exactly in the two videos. And granted, that's probably coincidence, but I just don't understand how you don't at least kind of change stuff up, polish it. And at that point, I would not condone this, but I feel like us being products of kind of an expedited called system, there's things you gotta do at certain points in your career.
True.
Yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing: we all, as kids, probably like copied a paper, did what's to get by. But at this level, at this point, when you have
this is the equivalent of asking somebody for their homework and then just changing their name, put your name on it.
Yeah, but except at a higher professional level.
Yeah, I mean, someone who has gone that far in their career, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
I don't know.
And going back to IGN's response, I feel that it was prompt. I felt that they did the right thing. If you followed them on Twitter at all, it looked like it was a tough day there. Because obviously it's a shot. It's a shot to the gut when something like this happens. Especially if you're part of an organization that's supposed to have a certain reputation. And you get this type of publicity,
and everyone should be talking about it, whether it's us or any other YouTubers that have talked about this. It deserves to be talked because it's really unacceptable. But I am glad IGN is they're taking part. Not so much as we're going to probably go into later. The guy himself, not so much, and we'll get into what he exactly said. He actually responded.
So he kind of went dark after this whole controversy. So his last tweet is actually a link to the Dead Cells review.
Yeah, wasn't he saying he was excited to edit the video or something?
It was like almost a week.
And this is the thing. It was, going back to what Dominic was saying about him being under pressure to produce this. It was, from what I understand, it was his first true project at IGN. Like all of his previous reviews were like of ports on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But this was his first like actual big review that he did by himself. So this gentleman posts in quote-unquote apology video. Not really claiming any responsibility.
He does not.
Yeah, he kind of talked around it a little bit.
He danced around it.
Something along the lines of, oh, you guys don't know what my editorial process is. I don't want to blame other people. And that's basically all he says in regards to the plagiarism. There's no, I'm sorry that this happened, so I found this video. He goes on to say that he, just like all video game reviewers, which I don't think is the case, will look at other sources and look at what other people are saying. You
know what the funniest thing he said to me that stood out? I think he also tried to defend himself by saying like it's just similarly opinionated. You cannot be that similarly opinionated when it lines up that well. That just doesn't happen.
That's like me writing the same essay on Timbuktu as some guy on the other side of the United States. Like, that's just not.
That's no never happened.
Fucking way.
I mean, in high school, I'd always just write the same paper and just be like, you know what? We just had the same idea.
We had the same thoughts. Sorry.
It's like, it's the same book. What do you want? What do you expect?
Also, shame on this guy too. I think so his response video also mentions he has the audacity to like call out like other platforms that have accused him. They shoot right back at them, saying, "Oh yeah, and also he also apparently he did some other reviews that weren't as authentic as well, based on what other sources.
I don't know why he even brought that up. See,
he shouldn't.
At this point, like, I mean, if you're in that deep, you either ignore the whole thing or you just don't dig a deeper hole.
He did. He kept digging it.
And he goes on to kind of paint himself as the victim, saying that everybody's gone after him. They've gone after his family.
Look, the family thing. That's
yeah.
don't
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's common.
I don't care who you are. You can be this guy in it. Don't do that. That's more of these other people. That just shows now you're just being.
I mean, yeah. Don't you? I mean, the thing is, I don't think it wasn't the time to bring that up, though.
Doesn't excuse him for not owning up to his mistakes, though.
He tried to go on the attack, which is a classic PR move, but it's just there was what I would have liked to see is a little bit more responsibility, a little bit more ownership. Like, dude, you messed up. Own it. Also, I've messed up at work.
We all have.
Plenty of times.
We all have.
Own it. I've messed up in real life. Own it. And I'm not saying that I've owned it every single time, but for something this big,
you have to own it up.
And honestly, he had a promising young career.
Young guy.
He was the main like Nintendo guy.
He was the Nintendo editor at IGN. The last two editors, now two Nintendo editors at IGN, including Jose Otero, a respectable games journalist, they've gone on to work at Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
That is how bad this guy messed up.
Yeah. Also, just to come to put out there, he never even also apologized directly to Boomstick Gaming. He mentioned him. He mentions like, "Oh, I like what you do."
Yeah, you've got a good thing going there, and I hope it continues. But
never once he says sorry. Not a single sorry or apology to him.
I'll say this.
I feel bad for him.
I mean, ignoring what he said, they did. I mean, after this, they did actually benefit. I mean, that's the one good thing.
They did. I guess shout out to Boomstick Gaming. His reviews actually very
good. It was a solid review.
Yeah, shout out to you, man.
I want to look into the game now.
Yeah. Sorry this had to happen, but it's kind of weird, but it's bizarre. But hopefully, Philip can one day actually like.
It's going to take a lot of time to rebuild trust. I don't know if honestly that's possible at this point.
Especially when
are you talking about the guy or IGN?
Philip,
the guy under IGN. Yeah. Oh, that's big.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way he can post a video in the future without somebody bringing this up.
It's hard to say that when you mention Dead Cells, this is actually the first thing that pops up.
Yeah, and then it's
kind of sad.
And that's unfortunate.
And we're talking about this now because we're going to look for this. So don't plagiarize. Be original.
Yeah. There you go. That's the moral of the story.
As 311 said.
All right.
Next for this week, DC had some news regarding their cinematic and their TV universes. New Supergirl cinematic movie.
Yes, yeah.
Not the TV show played by the talented
Not confusing at all, guys.
Not confusing at all. And in addition, they announced that Ruby Rose will be playing Batwoman in the Arrowverse, currently anchored by Grant Gustin, Stephen Amell, and Melissa Benoist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let me ask you this. I'm not too familiar with the television shows. I mean, I know you, Sinan, you've watched them a little bit. How would you compare them to the movies?
Honestly, the first couple seasons of Arrow are very good. They stay true to the source material. Granted, he's kind of Batman light because they have to borrow a lot from Batman in his universe. But the first two seasons of Arrow are spectacular. Even half of the third season is amazing. Everyone praises the first season of The Flash. And Legends of Tomorrow, I feel like, is a very fun show. Unfortunately, I haven't watched too much Supergirl to give a qualified opinion on it, but I hear that that's also...
Okay, so, you think... they seem to have a better track record than the movies. You think Batwoman is going to do good?
There's yet to be seen, I think.
It's going to be really weird because
Still fresh.
DC has kind of had this long running opposition to featuring the big guy himself in the TV universes.
Talking about Superman?
Talking about Batman.
Or Batman, okay.
Superman has shown up, as far as I understand. He is in a couple episodes.
Is Batman bigger than Superman now?
What do you mean?
I feel like he is.
Like in general?
Well, I mean, DC. When I say the face of DC, who do you think?
I think it's still Batman, in my opinion.
Batman?
Like, you think about, it's Batman.
Just so much in pop culture.
True.
Like,
I mean, I guess it helps, especially with the Dark Knight or the Christopher Nolan series.
Speaking of which, it's been 10 years since the Dark Knight movie. Oh my god.
There has been.
Oh my goodness, dude. Wow.
Okay, so I don't...
If that isn't a testament how big he is now, then
this whole thing with the cinematic universe and the television universe, I just don't understand why they don't combine them. It doesn't make sense to me.
They wanted to kind of do something that showed they were not exactly copying Marvel. Which is why they went...
What does that have to do?
Well, they were really... I don't know why, but they were really against having different character movies before jumping into Justice League, which ended up being a giant
cluster. Hold on, let me say something. You know how I know they're not copying Marvel? The movies are bad. That's how I know.
Oh, shots fired. Arrows fired. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Stones fired.
I mean, Denrick, have you... I don't think you've seen the Justice League movie, but you've seen...
No, because I refuse to see it because based on because you guys saw it before me, and you guys didn't enjoyed it that much.
I mean, you've seen like Batman versus Superman.
Oh yeah,
right?
that I think in parts it's okay, but my god.
Yeah, it's Martha. It was honestly like an okay movie.
It's actually okay, but
up until like, hey Martha, and then let's just randomly throw in Doomsday in here.
God,
spoiler alert! But hey, you guys had time to see it, but it's fine. No one's gonna kill you if you don't see it.
I'm gonna go on a rant if I just think about that movie. So I mean, how do you think Supergirl's gonna be?
Supergirl is being written by a respectable screenwriter. I believe he did 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
Well, he's also done collaborations with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, so I'm not too worried about the script. It's just the fact that the DC cinematic universe is kind of in shambles.
I was about to say, is it hoping to be having a Wonder Woman effect or something? They hope
they are. Honestly, their singular character movies have been pretty solid. Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel.
I was surprised by Wonder Woman.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel, but I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Obviously, no.
Excellent. Really good movie.
Excellent good movie.
Well, I want to say, I don't know how excellent it is, but I think just compared to the steaming pile of garbage that we've gotten in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I feel like Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot kind of revitalized the DC universe.
Excited for the next one too.
Yeah, so Supergirl joins Birds of Prey. That's going to star Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn once again. It's an untitled. They're also joining an untitled Joker movie to be played by Joaquin Phoenix.
There's a lot going on here.
And there is an untitled Batman movie in the works, and there is a Flash movie in the works.
You're really counting their eggs here.
They are, but they still don't know what's happening with Ben Affleck. They don't know what's happening with the universe that Jared Leto is supposedly in.
Hey DC, why are you so serious?
In this state, just kind of leaves it jumbled. I hope it works out. I'm feeling a little bit better about the TV universe. Granted, the CW does kind of shoehorn in some. So I'd say the human element, but
I mean, it should be interesting. I know right now. I mean, there's not that much info on it. I know they announced who the actress was, and there was a little bit of backlash on that. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that at all.
So they did attack. People did attack Ruby Rose on.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because they attacked her because of her orientation, or I don't know. She's gay. She's a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the character.
The character herself is part of the LGBT community.
Yeah, so they're attacking her because it's not this sort of character. It's not she's not doing this because she's like this.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's true for. I mean, it's a little bit worse in this case, but I think almost any time someone's casted, there's always people saying, "Oh, I want this person to be casted. Why are you casted? You don't deserve the part."
There was a
You know what the dumbest thing I saw?
It was a little bit worse, I think, in this case.
This is what I saw on Twitter. It ranges from like things like, "Oh my God, I'd rather have like this person of this nationality to play this part," and then I kind of got blew away. But like when I saw like she's not gay enough. Like, not to be funny, but that's like, I'm like,
what does that even mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
what
know.
do you people want?
Granted, people are entitled to want representation, to see somebody that looks like them, to see somebody that lives life the way that they do on the big screen.
You don't have to go out of your way to bully and attack the poor woman.
But I feel like Ruby Rose is talented. I've seen her work on Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I mean,
she's solid.
I mean, I think she'll be able to do it just fine. Just don't harass her on Twitter.
Oh yeah, because of that, she deleted her Twitter because of this,
and that's unfortunate.
I really hate when that happens.
Honestly, outside of
outside
of Felicity on Arrow, CW has done a pretty good job casting their characters. And even the earlier season, Felicity was a welcome part of the show. I don't know if you guys kept up with what's happening over on Arrow, but there's a lot of backlash on how they've handled the traditional couple of the Green Arrow and the Black Canary.
I've heard a little bit about that.
And they've kind of, there was a Tumblr movement to kind of shoehorn or kind of kick out the Black Canary and replace her with Felicity. And that just kind of leads to a lot of CW drama that almost tanked the show in season 4, in my opinion.
My goodness.
There it goes. I mean, I know people haven't been happy with the show regardless, but I mean, I don't know. I don't watch it.
It goes from Arrow to being Felicity and Friends, where she hacks a nuke out of the sky.
Well, that's I think that's a good time to move on.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Let's move on to one of our more favorite news of the week.
Something more lighthearted.
Yeah. So this Wednesday, I believe, Nintendo Direct came out, and they had a lot of news on Smash Ultimate.
Just Smash.
Yeah, just Smash. Just Smash. I mean, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's their biggest game. I don't know if you guys were able to catch.
I saw the entire thing.
Yeah, I was able to catch it live. It was 7 a.m, so perfect before starting my day.
I watched it later because I knew I wasn't going to be able to wake up that early to get up. Plus, I had like work and stuff. But I cannot wait for this game to come out.
That's a really weird start time. Nintendo's typically very friendly to the West Coast.
They like to catch you off.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was that early. I caught it a little bit later.
Well, wasn't Sakurai streaming from Japan or something anyway?
He said that it was going to be more friendly to Japan, but I think it was like at 11 o'clock over there anyway.
Whatever 7 o'clock is. But anyways, basically this is only the second video regarding Smash before it comes out in December. And my goodness, this man is crazy, and he's trying to fit everything that he can into one single package. So he basically announced like new characters, like Castlevania characters, Dark Samus, King K. Rool from Donkey Kong, and a bunch of new modes and features.
Actually insane, like how much stuff is coming out for this game.
He does not want you to ask him for anything anymore. And here's the crazy part. He's gonna even announce more stuff later on regarding like other stuff that he hasn't even talked about yet.
I mean, yeah,
possibly new characters.
I'm happy with the game right now. I want to play it. I want to play this game.
No, I was happy with the initial announcement back in June, but my goodness, this is just like
103 stages.
103, not 100. 103.
With a kind of an intriguing option, which is to be able to switch between 2 stages mid-fight.
That blew my mind.
Like that's crazy. Like, okay, I'll say this: even if you haven't been interested in Smash before, I think
now is the best time.
You should play this game. This game is going to have everything. And here's the thing: it's not like, even if you're not interested in traditional fighting games,
it's fine.
Like, dude, you can play this game casually.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. Here's the thing: when Smash Melee came out, everyone went to that as a party game first. I think before it had its competitive roots later.
Yeah, I've always.
It's a fun game to have. We have a bunch of people around, and this game is built for that. With the competitive thing in mind. I don't have a Switch right now, but like what Dominic's alluding to, this is making this is just makes me want to get a Switch by the holidays. And I think I will see myself.
Okay, no, you need to get a Switch, and then we're gonna do like rooftop. Well, I don't. Do we just need one Switch for that?
Yes, we've been over this. I don't know.
And you
seem to have this like conception that the Switch cannot be played on the television. It's just
no. Here's the thing. I think of the Switch as a. Does no one else think about the Switch as a portable like system? I think
it is a portable
because I honestly I don't play it on my TV. I play it portable. So I kind of, it's just in my mind. I think of it like a DS or something.
Yeah, I mean, it is essentially the new DS.
Well, that's the beauty of the Switch. You can switch it to TV mode.
I mean, yeah. That's why
they call it. And it's only like what, 300 to 400.
I think it's $299.
$300, and games are good. And this, it's what I want to say. This, what is this? It's second year.
This is the second.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And it's coming out December. It's gonna be nuts.
Like
it just feels like a love letter to all Smash and Nintendo fans.
Maybe
I don't know how any future versions of Smash can top this.
In Sakurai's words, that's probably a retirement letter.
I kind of think this might be. I mean, for Sakurai at least, I think this might be it for him.
No, I don't know. Just based on what he's showing so far, I can't even imagine what would the next Smash game would be at this point. This has to be the next good one for a while.
300 characters.
Yeah. Well, the guys over at Kind of Funny made the point on one of their shows this week that this kind of does feel like the final Smash.
Wow.
Like, okay, I'll say it's there's no way this is going to be the final Smash. It might be the final Smash that Sakurai works on. Because they're not going to. I mean, this is
it is a cash cow that you can go to over and over again, especially given the way that the game is set up and its willingness.
He's putting everything that we all love, everything that we had been exposed to the previous Smash games, all into this one.
Yeah, I feel like there's one more big thing coming.
If you watch the video,
Goku, do it.
Some people actually got thrown off. They introduced like a Monster Hunter character, and the field was like, "Oh my god, it's Goku!" because they thought it was like Cell game feel or something. The thing is, I'm pretty sure we are gonna announce something. Hear him announce something.
There's gonna be one more big character.
Not only that, did you guys see in the video? There's like a mode that's been obscured.
Yeah, so that there's
everyone is hoping that's like a story mode.
Subspace, maybe.
You know why he? Did you guys know why he? We talked. I don't know if we talked about this off screen. There was a reason why there wasn't a story mode in the last game, because I think when story mode came out for Brawl, Subspace Emissary, people uploaded story mode videos of that. And for some reason, Sakurai thought of that as like, oh, because you guys are watching this, there's no reason to put it.
Yeah, Nintendo can get a little weird about some stuff. They had their thing with Let's Plays and everything.
But here's the cool thing, though. I think, obviously, they're listening, because the characters that we've been getting is what people have been asking for. It's not literally going to be everything that's going to be wished for, but he's trying his damnedest to make sure everyone gets what they want.
I mean, yeah, say what you want. I mean, you can say Nintendo has a backwards thinking, they don't have the best library, but they deliver on their main games,
and they do, and you don't question it once you play it. Like you're just it's a magical thing they do when they do these kinds of things, and no one really questions it.
No,
unless it's particularly really bad.
Let me ask you guys this:
what's up?
We know there's a hidden game mode, and we know that there's probably more characters to come. They have said that they will announce all characters in the game before it comes out. Now, what are the chances? Knock on wood. What are the chances this gets delayed?
I don't think so. You have a prime slot release date of December. It was like December 7th.
I mean, obviously they're going to try and get it in.
I'd be surprised if it gets delayed.
I mean,
last time Smash released during that time was Melee back in 2001.
Well, when they announced Subspace Emissary,
or Brawl, that I was waiting for. Oh, they delayed that.
That was immediately delayed.
Oh my god!
It depends on how ambitious Nintendo wants to be here. Obviously, they've shown they want to be very ambitious with the content.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the assets they're using. I mean, like there's a lot of characters, but most of them are
stuff that we've seen before.
Yeah,
but you're just putting it in one convenient package with all the new stuff. I think that because the technology of the Switch is there, it's better to work with. Yeah, the Wii and the Wii U didn't have a lot to work with. That's why, especially with the Wii U, it did not go as well.
The Wii U was able to bring Nintendo into the 360 level graphics.
Okay, did anyone here get a Wii U?
Nope. Only have the Wii.
Yeah, I skipped that generation, so I mean it'll be good to play this game.
Yeah. I believe in my heart that it will come out December. That's a prime time. That's a prime time to pick up a Switch or buy the game. Mm-hmm. And But hey, what's the famous quote? If a game is delayed, it'll only get better or something. It'll be better.
I know what you're talking about. Does anyone?
I remember seeing that.
I feel bad.
Quote
we brought this quote up. People are gonna. They're gonna be mad at us for not knowing this.
A bad game is bad forever. A game that's delayed, that's good, is better. Something like that. To that extent, I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Basically, if this game gets delayed,
a bad game is bad forever. I think that part's
correct.
But a delayed game.
Oh god! I was looking it up because it's bugging us.
I'm gonna look it up. Cue the elevator music.
No, the Wii Shop. The Wii Shop.
Okay, Denver, quickly.
A delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is bad forever. Thank you.
There you go.
Kind of had him switched around.
Thank you, Google.
Thank you, Miyamoto.
Do you? Oh, funny enough, yes. Do you guys actually think?
Shout out to Google. I don't think it's gonna be delayed.
No, I say no.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm really hyped.
But man, it's so hype.
Let's move on to our final topic. Let's quick discussion here about the gameplay video that Take-Two and Rockstar put out of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wait a second. Is Rockstar putting out a new game?
Wait, what?
Yeah, this new developer called Rockstar. They haven't. I think that they used to be active somewhere in like the early parts of this decade.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah, haven't done anything the past 5 years.
That blows my mind.
Shout out to our last week's segments.
But wait, Sinan, Grand Theft Auto Online has been active. They've been putting a lot of stuff out for the.
Wait, is this the new Grand Theft Auto mode?
When Grand Theft Auto West.
They have a West. They have a West DLC. They have Westworld DLC for your Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
Wild West DLC.
But yeah, this video showed some interesting things. They seem to be going for. They seem to be going all in on the open world part.
It looks
of
great.
Red Dead.
Honestly, all jokes aside, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to go on, but I'm just from that short video, I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah,
it's basically everything that you love about Red Dead, but they are tweaking it to the damnedest that we all want it to be.
So there was a little bit of choices in how you can play as John Marston in the first one.
Yeah, everyone's really speculating because here's some context. This is a prequel.
It is a prequel
because it's focusing on the gang that was featured in Red Dead 1. The Vanderlyn gang, and you're gonna see how that all comes around. Yeah, it's gonna be really really interesting to see how.
So they're going in the first game. You were it was up to you on how you wanted to carry out a mission. Usually, you could be an outlaw or you could be a good guy. Here, it seems like they're going to make it to where the world kind of reacts to you.
Yeah, not just based on one thing.
Like the one option that kind of intrigued me was the portion where they show you walking by somebody and you can choose to
antagonize him, diffuse it.
And of course, we'll see how this actually pans out, but they're saying it's going to be super duper reactive to your character.
They've had 5 years. Usually, I temper my expectations on a game. They've had 5 years with doing nothing.
Why should it be like the same damn thing?
But they're also putting an emphasis on their camp system.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
because it reminds me of this other game. I forgot what it's called. Where like it seems like you could be constantly moving because you're an outlaw gang.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that doesn't get to the point where it happens so much. Because the beauty about games like Red Dead and other open world sandbox games, in your free time you can do whatever the hell you want. I'm really hoping that that system doesn't hinder it to the point where you're just forced to move a lot. I really hope there's some freedom there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the camp movements are going to be brought on by story options or by story.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's one of those things where you don't have to move along unless you choose like with the story.
I mean, that said, I think it'd be cool if like even without the story, like open world, you could like kind of set up a camp wherever. I think that would be pretty cool too. I mean, I don't want to be forced into doing it though.
Yeah, I don't want it to become like the settlement system in Fallout 4. Where like I'm in the middle of a cool like fort mission where I'm trying to go in, kill somebody, and I'm just kind of
okay. No, people.
Hey, listen, the camp needs your help.
Okay, no, everyone complains about the settlement system, but like aside from like a mission you have to do, it's completely optional. Like I actually think if they did it like the settlement system, I think it would be pretty good. I mean, I don't know. We'll see when it comes out.
We'll see. It's gonna come out in October. right before Smash, so not too far off. Not too far off. So I'm excited about that.
And it is kind of interesting that they're going back to the same economy with the pelts. And it at least seems like you can get more stuff with your money this time.
You should. You had 8 years to.
Well, the first game was basically just like you get pelts and then you trade them in.
Get money.
Yeah, but now it seems like you can do a little bit more things with your camp. You can mount stuff. You can
horse stuff is more
horse
attractive.
Personalities. That's the game we've been looking forward to.
I'm really looking forward to the horse stuff.
Eat your heart out, My Little Pony. Just kidding. Yeah, everything just seems more detailed, more. There's a lot more little stuff that I'm a sucker for little things that excite me.
There's fishing in the game. You can fish.
You can fish.
Was there no fishing in the last game?
I don't remember.
If there was, it was probably not that great.
I don't think so.
No, do you guys remember in the first Red Dead when you walked in the water, you die?
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of.
The only reason I thought there was fishing is because in the final mission where you're playing as Jack Marston.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
If you haven't played this really old game,
if you haven't played the game from 2010, please don't listen to this part.
Yeah,
so he hunts. Was it Ross?
Yeah, it's Ross. I remember.
Ross is the government agent that betrayed John Marston. He catches him while he's fishing, so that's why I thought there was a fishing game.
Someone else got fish though.
There you go.
Hey, guys,
right.
it's time for rank 'em.
Rank 'em up. Yeah. What did we do last week?
Last week was our top 3 video game consoles.
Yeah, last week was our top 3 video game consoles.
Found out we were all fans of PS2s and Xbox 360.
Big surprise there.
Not big surprise.
This week, a little bit more diverse topic.
I think everyone's going to enjoy.
Is the top 3 shows
from our childhood.
From your childhood. Now, this can span from 6 years old to 15 years old. Or however old you were.
Childhood 15? Like cut off this like 12.
No.
Say 13. When's freshman year?
Freshman year was when we were freshmen back in high school in 2006-07.
Freshman would be 13.
Okay, so we'll say 13.
Yeah, cut it off there. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Dominic, top 3 childhood shows.
Yeah, okay, man. I guess I'm gonna go first. So number 3, I'm gonna go with Rugrats. It's it's an old show. It has to do with like there's just like kids or like little babies, and you can hear them talk and everything. And it was one of the first shows even earlier than the other 2 shows I'm going to mention. I think I got into the show earlier than them. And it was just a really fun, like, show. There wasn't really that much character development, but, I mean, something, I'm a kid. I mean, it keeps me entertained. So that was number 3. Number 2, Boy Meets World. A classic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I'll say this definitely spanned probably the longest throughout my childhood. It introduced me to probably like the first romance I was into at all. Corey and Topanga. Anybody?
Yeah, Topanga.
Topanga, good
A1.
Good looking person. Corey, he's
even
okay.
Better looking person.
I mean, I'm more of a Sean guy, but
I'm more of a Mr. Feeney.
Dude, Mr. Feeney's awesome. But I mean, yeah, it was a really good show. It had, really great development. Enjoyed it. Good show. Check it out.
Yeah, typically, the shows that you can relate to the most
tend to the ones to be the best ones you remember from your childhood.
Yeah, the shows that you can you go through the same progressions as a character, and I feel like that's important for artists to realize who their audience is and who their core.
No, yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple of shows like that. Like there's Wonder Years, which has his brother in there, kind of just goes through the characters' years as they progress through life, and it's a really great show. And I'll say this: unlike the other 2 shows, it's a show that I can watch today, and I'll still be super entertained by.
Yeah.
But in terms of the ultimate childhood show, I gotta go with Pokemon. Like you gotta go.
Yeah, classic.
You gotta go with Pokemon.
I think that's a lot of people.
Saturday morning cartoons. What was I watching? Pokemon.
You're Ash trying to get that.
Watching Ash being a pimp, man.
PG show.
What is he pimping out? Is like
was
Pikachu?
No, dude, think about it. He had Pokemon. He had all the female trainers.
Think about it. You get a bunch of Dittos.
Okay. That's the you ruined my childhood. There it is. It's gone. It's gone. But I mean, like every kid had to have watched.
I feel like the cultural impact of Pokemon is spans multiple generations and probably a billion people at this point.
You ever ran into anyone our age that hasn't watched Pokemon at all?
Like at all? Like if they lived,
I think that's hard to not be exposed to now.
I don't think that's possible.
It's impossible.
It's
such
not
a big
possible.
thing in our. And by the way, like to allude to that, we just knew that as a cartoon, and technically it was an anime. That's how big it was.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I lived on the other side of the world.
You knew about it.
I knew about Pokemon.
I mean, it's impossible not to know about Pokemon.
And not in like a Europe other side of the world and like a really shitty other side of the world.
That's how big it was.
Yeah.
Pokemon did its job.
Yeah,
it traversed the world.
Yeah, I mean, like looking back, it's a very super formulaic, but it's a good show. I mean, it was a good show for what it was. I enjoyed it.
Don't watch a lot of news.
Number one childhood show.
But
dig it. Denrick.
Awesome.
Top 3 childhood shows. Go.
My top
number 3
shows. Hey.
Number 3.
No particular order. Well, kind of.
No,
number 3.
Number 3.
It's called rank.
It's called rank.
Just no rank. Just do it randomly.
Okay, it kind of does matter.
Welcome to our new segment of the week.
D-rank them.
M. There's no rank.
Okay, let's go.
My third show. It's kind of. Speaking of Rugrats, Dominic, my third one is Hey Arnold from Nickelodeon. You're talking about relatable shows. People can argue this has to be one of the more relatable ones out of all the childhood shows from back then. Hey Arnold was basically about these diverse group of kids that hung out in the neighborhood. They basically dealt with a lot of like very, very, very relatable real life stuff. Everything from like bullying to challenges to a lot of fun stuff.
Feels bad.
Feels bad, man. I know. The character of Arnold alone you will watch that show for football head, you know.
Yeah.
And I picked this show because like I just remember coming home from school every day, whether it was on Nickelodeon. Remember when they had all the slime stuff happening in their old studios, and then they would just run whatever. I just enjoy like all the shenanigans they go through and all this. Some of the best episodes in that show are probably some of the more serious.
Yeah, it really was
stuff.
one of the first shows to kind of challenge what a cartoon should be.
And as a kid, we didn't know what that was supposed to mean until later on. Yeah. Looking back on it, I cannot believe the stuff they got away with. And that's actually a good thing.
It actually holds up. It holds up.
It's ahead of its time.
And part of me thinks like we really did kind of grow up in the golden generation of cartoons.
We did. I think we truly did.
Where before all these different networks kind of tried producing somebody or something for target audiences, I really feel like we were kind of like their test.
True. I mean, also, is there even Saturday morning cartoons anymore? Is that a thing?
No, it's called going on YouTube every day.
Not on, obviously. I don't think it's on network television. I think Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon probably still do something.
They do. It's not all the. They also bastardize some of their classic shows into whatever it is right now.
Yeah, but I mean, before we had Rick and Morty, before we had even Batman the Animated Series, before we had all these kind of dark shows. Not dark. I'm not going to say dark shows. More adult. More shows that respected you and respected your intelligence.
Not where they test you on how hyper you are now.
I mean, I'll say this, to be fair, I don't know what kids are watching nowadays. I have no idea.
I don't, yeah.
It's like really they're watching some like deep philosophical shows.
Here's My Little Pony.
Denrick.
Yeah, that was Hey Arnold. Number 2, speaking of, I don't know, I love this show so much. I didn't think I would love this show. Number 2 is Teen Titans. The original Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans
not
Go
that
was
crap.
It was so much better, though.
No. Shut up. Shut up. The original Teen Titans. I think back in the day, superhero cartoons like Teen Titans were at an interesting point. And when Teen Titans came out, you can't really explain it. It came, you just watch it, and you're stuck with it in a good way. It was one of the few superhero animated shows that I think, really was an original adaptation. It had an original opening theme song.
Teen Titans.
It was obviously there was some anime and Japanese inspired moments.
Denver, favorite Teen Titan, go.
Raven. She was my.
How do you not know that?
She was my dude.
The viewers don't know that.
No, I mean, how do you not know that?
Were you testing me?
I'm asking you.
Did you knew about that before you asked?
I call BS.
Yeah,
I knew this all the time.
I bet $20 you didn't know this before.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Beast Boy.
Perfect, $20.
Yeah, I loved Raven. All the characters, all the Titans had their moments, and there was a lot of cool action. There's a lot of cool moments. They even had some funny, lighter episodes too, and to balance out the seriousness of that show. And I have to say, Teen Titans, for what it was, really just made me appreciate that part of DC a bit more. And unfortunately, later on, you have Teen Titans Go, which is kind of a slap in the face. But man, I remember back then I rewatched it a couple years ago. It still holds up well too. It's so good. It's still so good. I love it. And that is my number 2 favorite childhood show of all time.
I mean, the storyline with Slade and Robin, that's up there for me. That
was deep, man.
Like that, we're talking about shows that respect you as an adult and kind of deal with real world.
Teen Titans, they not only respect you, they bow down to you, man. Like, you don't see that anymore.
All right. Number 1.
My number 1 favorite show of all time. This wasn't really tough for me. I can watch this all day, all night. I also rewatched this back in the day too, a couple of years ago. It's Ed, and Eddie.
Oh.
Yes, that's
Cute.
I didn't stutter. That's actually the title of the show for those who don't know. Ed and Eddie. That's 1D, 2Ds, and triple D. Well, I'm sorry, 1D, double D, and triple D. No, double D. I'm sorry. Wait, 1D, double D. Eddie. Yeah, they're double D and Eddie both have 2Ds. I thought it was Ed DD. But Ed and Eddie was one of those shows that I was attracted to because it's so dumb in the best way possible. Nothing was supposed to make sense, but there was also a lot of stuff that was kind of relatable too. But some of it was just so exaggerated, but it was so good. It was basically about these 3 characters scamming you, getting money so they could buy candy, jawbreakers, and they were getting all these shenanigans, the most ridiculous scenarios to get your money.
I never got the jawbreaker thing. That was like just
they had to find a goal
throughout the whole show. Was like we can get jawbreakers.
No, yeah, they always get shafted because they always end up making things so hard for themselves, or they end up getting a situation they didn't see coming, and they end up paying for it. What I just love about this show is that the 3 characters alone, especially Ed. I mean, he's dumb as bricks, but he's the most lovable dumb bag of bricks you can ever come across. He's the dumb one. Eddie is supposed to be the schemer, and Double D is supposed to be the smart one, the one who always wears his hat. And then you have all these other cast of characters, and they live in a cul-de-sac neighborhood, and basically it just ranged from like from Kevin, the cool guy who's too cool for everyone, Ed's hot-headed sister, Jimmy the innocent kid, Johnny with a 2x4 as a friend.
2x4, dude,
which somehow ends up contributing in the weirdest and most sensational ways.
He's the best character of the show.
He is best character. He is the most lively character of this entire show.
It's iconic, man.
Very iconic. 10 out of 10. And then like I don't know what else to say about this show. Like this. I can have fun by just watching Ed just smacking his head against the ground for like 30 minutes. That's how good it was. For those that haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's one of the best things I think I've ever saw in my life. I love it.
It's good praise. Good praise. Snon?
Okay, my top 3. Number 3, and I kind of struggled with this one. I'm gonna go with Tom and Jerry.
Oh man.
It's about as iconic as iconic can get. Still going strong with some new episodes, I think, at Cartoon Network. The show was obviously a simple cat and mouse story. The cat tries to eat
cat and mouse.
The cat tries to eat the mouse. The mouse does some clever things, gets out, makes the cat pay. And really, what I have with this is that where I was from is that there's really no other option.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Who did you root for?
Honestly, I was always rooting for Tom.
Same here. Absolutely. I root for Tom because he tried so damn hard.
Jerry was a jerk.
He was a jerk, and I think that's part of it.
It would always be like, I mean, yeah, Tom sometimes he'd do something. Mostly it was like he'd be eating or something, and Jerry would pull his tail. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: what happens when Tom catches him? It's never about the destination. It's about the journey.
Yeah. True.
Like you would kind of run out of material.
Tom and Jerry could easily be a one-off thing, one episode thing, but
I mean, he just waits by the little mouse hole, just opens his mouth.
Just to add, the smart thing was to make the show just go as last as it can.
Yeah, but honestly, it's a very fun kid show type.
Did it have an ending, by the way?
No, it's good. It's still pretty.
Okay, good. I don't want to.
I mean, the only ending I could see would be like them just kind of walking off into the sunset.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
Or get more morbid, one of them dies.
That's the thing everyone didn't want to see.
Finally catches Jerry.
I mean, he's caught him multiple times.
He has.
And let him go.
Unfortunately, there are some of our favorite childhood shows that had an ending, and we wish it didn't. But we'll explain that.
Going back to just kind of the feelings I associate with the show, and that's... It used to be 6 o'clock in a country that had two networks, with one being just completely state-run. It was kind of like the best part of your day as a kid to be able to watch the cartoons in the 6 o'clock p.m. hour. It would be about 30 minutes where they would either show Tom or Jerry or this other show about UFO mecha fighter. It was a mecha type show with like robot battles.
But was it on Cartoon Network too? There was another show like that, but
there was, but
that was actually pretty good.
Well, it's mainly, I have it in my top 3 just mainly because of the feelings associated with it. The nostalgia.
Fair play.
I agree. I would put that up there too.
And this next show kind of follows that theme. That is one Yu-Gi-Oh!
I was splitting between that with Hey Arnold. That was really hard.
And
someone had to do it.
In Yu-Gi-Oh! Just the fun card game aspect that came with it. It kind of let me interact with some people. It was at a point in my life where I had just started to learn English.
Okay, you know what? I'll say one thing though. That show was false advertisement. That's not how the card game worked.
It was. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's just one giant. Looking back on it now, it's one giant commercial.
Dude, I still have my soul, so I want my money back.
It's just one. Yeah, it's just one giant long-lasting commercial. Actually, they changed in the U.S. You know why the cards only have a picture with the stars on them with no text?
Why is that?
It's because there's a law that's passed that says you cannot have the exact thing in your show.
Why?
Oh, that's weird.
That's like a weird
advertising. Advertising laws, so that you can't.
I guess that just made it more iconic than the look of it.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, there's some very fun story arcs. I feel like Little Karibo does a little bit better job explaining that than I would. But there's very dumb parts to that show. There's very fun parts to that show.
True, absolutely.
And more along to what you said, Saturday morning with cartoons. I feel like that was my go-to combo.
Yeah, that was there too,
dude. I made friends and lost friends over that show. More than the card game. Everyone back in middle school, everyone just wanted to duel during lunchtime. We actually traded. We bought stuff from each other and then ended up stealing it back from each other.
Yeah, can you think?
We were the cool guys at school.
Not Pokemon, not Magic, not some other. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Dominated your lunch breaks.
From my understanding, it's still going strong, but obviously back then it trumped Pokemon where I was. Like I honestly couldn't remember anybody ever wanting to play Pokemon at lunch or.
I mean, the Pokemon card game was like whatever.
I bought Pokemon cards as my first card game too, but I didn't know what to do with it. Yu-Gi-Oh! I knew what to do with that.
I mean, the game was more popular, but it's just more accessible to. I mean, especially as a kid, to play a card game than a video game.
Yeah, well, the dumb thing was that nobody followed the rules. No one. It was basically the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Duelist Kingdom, where no one knew the rules. I'm gonna attack the moon.
Suddenly summon 3 blue eyes by dragon.
Without sacrificing anything. Go ahead, Kaiba. Yeah, that's legal.
But yeah, it was kind of a bridge to be able to talk to people and make those relationships. A lot of the friends that I made through that show in elementary school, I still keep in touch with now.
You guys remember when we got back into it years ago?
Yeah. I would say I still have a pretty decent collection though. Look at every once in a while.
As far as me and Sanaa is concerned, I think someone.
Let's move on to number 1.
Number 1 is, I feel, is the best. Is the best show. Is the best animated show of all time. That is Batman the Animated Series.
Dun, 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 dun.
I honestly cannot name a more impactful show on pop culture in terms of the superhero genre.
I agree.
It gave us Kevin Conroy. I am vengeance. I am the night.
I am vengeance. And then you had Joker.
Gave us Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Two incredible talents.
It spawned off the Superman series. It spawned off Justice League. It spawned off Justice League Unlimited. It spawned off Teen Titans, the show that you mentioned.
Yep. How funny.
And just the universe that it created, it's still impactful today. It even created a character in Batman lore. How often can the show do that?
Yeah, what character was that on?
So that would be Harley Quinn.
So going back to what you said about Batman earlier, Dominic, now do you see why Batman is so big still?
And I feel like Batman being in the show's success has led to Batman kind of gaining this untouchable pop culture status.
That will just continue to get bigger and it will stay forever.
And just all around amazing show. The writing, the amount of respect that the writers had for you as a viewer to be able to handle some of the topics, dealing with abuse, dealing with addiction.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly dark show.
But it was so good to watch. You just didn't question it.
And that's the only way that you can do a Batman show. Is he's so dark that I don't know that a Teen Titans Go type formula would ever work. And they've tried that. I think there's a Justice League Action.
Okay, quick question: does he kill anyone in that show?
No, but people do die.
I don't know.
Not by his hands, I think. No.
Not bad. I saw him kill people in the new movie.
He never.
This is why I can't.
So I hate you.
It was really annoying. Moving on.
So yeah,
that was as Dominic did.
That was our favorite childhood shows. You guys should check them out. Hope you all had a great nostalgia trip.
Moving on. Denrick, what annoyed you this week?
Out of everything that annoyed me the hell out of this week, honestly, it still annoys the hell out of me. It's something that pissed me off, the whole plagiarism thing that we talked about earlier. I want to kind of just talk about personally, like, how bad that is for me. Like, I don't appreciate that.
Who did you plagiarize off of, Denrick?
No.
You're amongst friends.
When I see that happen, that happens beyond like realms of like school or the high school or college, and it goes to like professional level. It's kind of in my eyes, it's pretty low. Like, you have to really go out of your way to do what you do, to like go out of your way to copy someone's work because you're too fucking lazy.
Verbatim.
You're too damn lazy, or you couldn't come up with original content, or you couldn't be more unique. You know, I think what we're losing in today's world is that people just fail to be more unique. Because look, I get it. We have so much access to many resources more than ever now with the power of the internet, technology, phones. Even in schools, they are benefiting from that. But that doesn't mean just because you have something like a smartphone in front of you or something doesn't mean you can just like, oh, I don't know, I'll just look here and oh, there's that paper I wanna. Yeah, you know. Oh, there you go. That's original. You just change up a few words. I don't have room for people who think they can get away with something by not putting work, and they think they can be where they're at.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at this guy. I don't know how people,
I hate that so
especially
much.
At that level. I don't know why they think they'll get away with it. I mean there's probably people that do.
Here's the thing: if you're a smaller YouTube channel that's making video reviews like Boomstick Gaming was, you're gonna want to compare yourself to the competition, or to obviously this guy probably looks up to IGN.
You would think
as a standard. So like, you know, whoever you're copying off of, if they're on YouTube, they're probably going to be coming and watching your review. If you're as big a company as IGN,
I think this guy took impersonation as a serious form of flattery
to
a whole new level.
I really want to be inside his head. I want
to come out and say like, "Oh, you don't know what my review process is." Like,
no, you're. It's more annoying that he hasn't even apologized to Boomstick Gaming, or even hasn't apologized to everyone else that has made clear, valid points that he went out of it, that he did not try to make an original review, and that he copied someone else's work just so he can have something out there. It makes me sick. And for anyone that's listening out here, here's the thing. We mentioned earlier when we were talking about the subject in general earlier, it sucks, okay? I get it. Sometimes you just don't know what you want to do. But here's the thing: own up to your mistakes. Don't beat around the bush, and live to fight another day. Okay.
Here's the thing. I'll pose this question to both of you. If this guy goes to his editor and tells them, like, hey, I need one more day, my thoughts aren't necessarily you.
He can't anymore. He's fired.
Yeah, but this guy goes to his editor the day before the review is due. He's like, hey, I need a couple more days, or I need 1 or 2 more days before this review goes out.
I mean, I think they would have given it to him. I don't understand why he resorted to this. It really does not make sense to me.
You can't pay me. You cannot put a knife against my neck and tell me to do something like this.
Wait. You would rather die than plagiarize?
No.
Okay.
Look what it did.
Denrick the plagiarism.
And it doesn't help that he obviously, like I said, it just pisses me more off now that he's not taking full responsibility. He's putting it back on other people. People like that make me sick. All right. It's so annoying that we have people like this at a professional level doing kid like crap. We were taught in school not to do this. It's basic English and journalism fundamentals.
Danielson would not be proud.
None of our English teachers would be proud. Any kids that watch these types of videos, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is acceptable." It isn't.
Well, I mean, to be fair, all these kids now know that this guy's life is ruined. So
yeah, it's probably gonna scare them. Oh, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Now, if he had been kept on as an editor,
we would not be talking about this.
Which is why I'm not as up in arms.
And plus, I mention this because I do want to bring awareness to this for anyone that's listening. Like, please know that doing something like this is never going to turn out good. Because look what is happening. If you
lie, they will find out.
Well, I mean, I'll say,
and it's the internet. They will find it, and they found it.
Yeah,
they found it.
Let me say this: if anyone here has anything plagiarized off of them from a bigger website, and they think, they're bigger than me, I can't do anything. And this just shows.
Yeah,
this shows.
The power of the internet is really
Boosted
strong.
Gaming. They had some pretty popular videos, but they're really small. YouTube
about 1,200 subscribers.
Yeah. I mean, not nothing, but still really small.
Yeah. And it speaks to the power of the internet and
it really does.
Kind of the community aspect of it.
A lot of fire, and it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And look what happened. Now we can't stop talking about it because how unacceptable what this guy did.
I will tell you one thing though. I am going to play some Dead Cells today.
Yeah, it did give it attention, but they
want to play that
game. Didn't want to see it like this. It's going to be hard not to think about it when I play this game now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what really annoyed me. Just to add on to that,
Dominic,
I had to say that.
Let me ask you what annoyed you this week.
Well, let's talk about character balance. I don't understand why game developers, specifically multiplayer games.
Oh, yeah. Are we talking about like from Evo, the whole Smash thing controversy?
No, I mean, there's that, but I mean, just in general, every single multiplayer game I played, developers just cannot get character balance right. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's some things they just never change. Like, I mean, going back to Modern Warfare 2. Does Commando make any sense to you guys?
Commando, the actual perk for that game?
Do you guys remember how dumb Commando was?
So, in put in context, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, there was a perk that lets you to basically lunge with your melee attack.
Also, no fall damage.
Okay, by lunge, he means you teleport 10 feet.
It's basically, it's in a weird way, it's basically, hey, your character can move without moving.
Like, I know...
With the press of a button. It's dumb. But everyone used it, because it's the biggest abused perk in the game. And
they were just like, it's fine. Whatever. Let's just ignore that.
Dominic, I'm gonna need you to get to what's really hurting you.
What's hurting you, man?
And that is one popular game.
Okay. I hate the character balance in Overwatch. There's just so many things wrong with the game. Okay, there's a character that across just every skill level, 90% of the player base thinks this character is overrated. Brigitte. Why is she a thing?
Brigitte.
I don't care. I don't need to pronounce her name right. She doesn't deserve it. She takes very low skill to use. She does so much work. She's incredibly hard to kill. And so basically, I mean, you don't even have to be familiar with the game, but just imagine a game where 90% of the player base thinks it's overrated. Why not the next day just release a hotfix? Why can't you do that?
Even something as big as Overwatch is dealing with something like that, huh?
Well,
like, I don't understand. What? Just release a hotfix the next day? No, let's just wait a month. Let's wait a month.
Overwatch
yeah, but you don't know what one fix is going to do to other characters.
No one likes that. Everyone agreed that character should be nerfed.
Yeah. Okay. So what would your proposed nerf be?
I mean, the hotfix. I mean, the nerfs that they did were fine. I mean, an easy hotfix would just be, okay, her shield bash. That's gonna take a second longer. Or what?
I mean, they've done that. I think they've gone.
Yeah, I
from
mean, I
6
said
to
that was
6 to
that.
8.
Yeah, that was fine, but they should have did that immediately the next day. Why
I
take that long? Junkrat, do you have some type of response for Junkrat?
No, Junkrat was ridiculous. That was almost 2 months of just a very low skill type character that's essentially just chucking grenades.
And everyone just abused that, I'm assuming.
It was. They're ridiculously powerful. On top of that, they gave him an extra mine to get away and do damage.
The damage options were.
Man, these are like handicaps.
Okay, and here's another character. Denrick, imagine you're playing a game where you have a weapon. Let's just say it's a weapon, just to make this a little bit more accessible.
Okay.
You have a weapon that can do more damage than a shotgun up close, and more damage than a sniper rifle from afar. Can I ask you, does that sound balanced to you?
No.
That's Hanzo. What are you doing, Blizzard?
Well, Hanzo, I feel like every rework they've had has come off just so off balance.
And that's the thing.
Like the initial reworks for Mercy, like she was ridiculous once they reworked her. Hanzo had some ridiculous damage to output.
Why do that though? Like, look at all the reaction videos from when people first play that character. Like immediately they were all, this is broken. Like people knew immediately. It still took them like a couple weeks to fix that.
I just feel like Blizzard always goes extreme in one way or the other. Like I remember there was one period where they were trying to nerf Ana. And it just became like she crippled her. They pushed her out of the game.
I mean, once again, aside from Overwatch, this is any multiplayer game I played. I could name instances of this. I could name instances in Call of Duty. I already did. In Team Fortress 2. Any game. Like, I just don't know why game developers, especially when a large portion of the community says this is broken, why can't they fix that immediately? I don't get it.
It goes back to just needing the resources
because they're lazy.
You need resources first of all.
If you guys are listening to this, you're lazy. I know he's gonna make an excuse for you guys. You're lazy. I'm salty. I'm sorry.
You need the resources. Like you need to give your staff some time to develop a strategy.
1.1 to 0.9. Oh,
it's
that
also
took so much time. Oh my god.
You also don't know what ramifications of your nerfs are. There was a change where they nerfed Soldier.
Okay.
Because they nerfed Soldier and McCree because their damage output was a little bad. But then that completely led to Pharah being rampant for about a month.
Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, you might not know what the ramifications of the nerf were, but I do know what the ramifications of your broken, stupid character is.
Yeah, so but what if you
let's not avoid balancing your game because you're scared of some, I don't know, metaphysical thing that might happen, and let's pay attention to what's actually happening. It's not a metaphysical thing. It's an actual thing. It's an actual thing that you don't know what happens yet.
You have ramifications to your actions
that haven't existed yet. I'm so heated about this. This is gonna okay. Here's the thing. We can agree to disagree that there's definitely cases where they don't balance the game correctly. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
I'll give you that, but to play off that, just imagine there's like a pressure chamber that's letting out hot air, and you're like, well, to stop this hot air, all I need to do is close this door.
I'm not letting this go. Okay, even then. Okay,
you close that door. You get an explosion.
Okay, you do a hotfix, which takes like no work. You do a hotfix, it doesn't work out. You can adjust the next day. It's not that big a deal.
So you're hoping to.
So you want them to just go through trial and error with you being the guinea pig.
He thinks this is
sure. I'd rather have like a week where each day I'm annoyed because of something, rather than like a month where I'm just annoyed at this character and I don't feel like at least I know that they're doing something.
Don't you wish everything
could
be fixed?
Do that PTR. Do that PTR. Oh my god, I'm a genius.
That's what PTR is.
They don't use PTR right. I'm so mad right now. They don't use PTR correctly. I am a genius. Blizzard, hire me. Hire me to fix your games.
Yeah,
Okay.
hire him if you want to work 24/7, 365.
Okay,
Making game patches for me.
Let's end it there before I blow up. Sinan, what annoyed you this week?
That definitely.
This thing actually happened today.
Oh, this is fresh.
Fresh salt.
I'm a fan of sports talk radio.
Okay.
I feel like it's easier to listen to than any other music stations because of commercials. And
you guys actually listen to music like attentively?
Yeah, Spotify.
Yeah, that isn't radio.
Yeah, Spotify.
Yeah, we all have moved on to that.
Best $7 a month.
I've just moved on to our music players pretty much.
Yeah, it's amazing. It takes out having to download stuff. You get the entire library at your disposal. You get brand new releases. You got the new Drake album. Astroworld, Travis Scott.
So I say we're not being Spotify is not sponsoring us.
If you are, that'd be great. But
anyway, this was a national show, not a local show. It actually does have a San Diego connection, but it's neither here nor there. The two announcers started talking about esports.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
And these guys, you could tell they're in their 40s, 50s.
Old guys.
Just the immediate. This has always been a thing where you don't open your mouth about something that you're not 100% sure on. So this is what goes down. It's basically like, oh yeah, so I've heard that esports is starting to get more popular. It's just like, yeah, I don't get the appeal of that. Or you're just like watching somebody else play a video game. That's the worst part of your childhood.
I'm so confused. Oh, no. Why would they say that?
Like that is the worst.
Sports commentators.
Like that is the worst part of your childhood is waiting for your brother to finish playing so you could play the game. It's just like, yeah, wouldn't you want to get to the levels that they're playing? Like they're getting to higher levels, like levels not in terms of skill, but portions of a game. And to me, I was just lost. Like the entire concept of esports now is basically team based and competition, which is what all real sports are. Like I've seen Overwatch League grow in to absolute phenomenon, and I'm not going to say that I can be an Overwatch League player.
I just don't understand why. Okay, why did this even come up in the first place?
Yeah, why did they even mention it?
Or did they just randomly bring
the thing though? Is right now it's a dead period in sports. There's really, I mean, you have baseball and you have a little bit of preseason football.
True.
But like, granted, I used to be that guy where I used to have a joke with one of my friends where somebody announced their retirement from esports because they were overwhelmed and exhausted. And we're like, dude, how can you get exhausted from playing games? Like, what do you do? Have too much Doritos?
No, dude, esports is crazy. I would not want to get into esports,
just
even if I had the skill.
Not just esports, but just look at people who go out of the way if they play games competitively individually. Well, like I said, it's still a team-based thing, but the amount of travel, the amount of like.
I mean, the amount of practice alone.
Yeah,
I think most teams said they practice for about 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I remember reading about this somewhere, but the thing with like normal athletes is, I mean, you can't practice football for like 8 or 10 hours a day. That's just not possible.
Just not, yeah.
However, you can practice playing a game as long as you want. I mean, really, like in order to like get better, some teams will just be in there practicing ridiculous amount of hours, like 12, 14, 15 hours a day. Like that's ridiculous.
Also, if they're gonna mention crapping on like Overwatch esports being like that, I'm also throwing poker too. It's kind of the same.
I mean, throw in bowling. Like I would rather bowl than watch someone else bowl, but you don't see me going up to professional bowlers.
Be like, hey, be like, yeah, I don't know if I can consider this being active. Or
I mean,
I'm like,
actually, they have a point. Why am I watching the NBA?
Why am I?
Yeah,
why am I watching?
Try out for the Lakers.
Let me try out. Yeah, it's really
well. I mean, let's just go down to the park. It's basically the same entertainment value as watching the NBA.
The only difference is you don't get paid. You don't get paid. You're not on TV. You don't wear the same uniform.
That was kind of just my thing. Like you don't know what these people go through.
I mean,
it's kind of like you said. If you don't have 100% idea what to think about, what to say, without any kind of credibility associated with it, don't talk about it.
I mean, to be fair, it's a generational difference.
It is, but still, you have the audacity to kind of just, in a way, kind of put them down like that. Just because it's video games too. There's the whole video game generalization now.
I mean, I guess
get that out of your mind. It's the biggest media entertainment consumption we have right now.
I mean, I guess like Sinan said, it was a dead period, and they just. I mean, it was in sports news, so they wanted to bring it up.
Talking about it,
and they're like, well, I mean, they're just going to talk about it.
Doesn't look good on them though. Now I'm just looking forward when they do mention it, so we can have more. It's just, yeah. Well, there you go.
All right. Well, that was salty week.
It has been.
It actually, when you think about it, in terms we talked a lot of good stuff too earlier, but if you notice, there was a lot of just salt this week. Too much.
It was.
I could go on for so much more.
We're not done.
Wow, really?
No. After the podcast, you guys aren't going to hear this. We're going to fight. It's fist fight.
You know they say take salt in, take it out.
All right. You guys looking forward to anything this week? Watch anything interesting?
What am I looking for?
This is our last segment of the week before we sign off.
Yep. Okay, I guess I'll go. So, I have been watching a lot of Twitch this week, actually.
Okay.
I don't know. How familiar are you guys with Twitch?
Very familiar with Twitch.
I love Twitch. Like, it's not as diverse as I think we mentioned this last week, like Justin.tv is, but it's just still there's still a lot you can watch. Like you can watch just gameplay videos from pros. You can go and watch some guy walking around in Japan. It's just so random.
People want to upload shows.
Yeah, I found this channel that plays cooking shows from like the late 90s and early 2000s.
No, yeah,
it's Emerald Lagasse on there.
Yeah.
Oh, bam!
I mean, there's like actual like well-produced talk shows and variety shows on there. It's actually crazy to see how big Twitch is growing.
Dude, there's a Bob Ross marathon on there.
There is.
Oh, very, very nice.
There's actually a Yu-Gi-Oh marathon.
That one, I love that one because the chat goes nuts in that.
They are. Check his pulse, Yugi.
I love the chat. Like that's one thing can't get.
The chat just.
I mean, you can't get with any other medium. Like just the uniqueness of Twitch chat. It's like it's dumb. Like honestly, Twitch chat is dumb, but it's so entertaining to watch.
You know, that's why actually on that note, that's why I kind of like enjoyed watching Evo. On the highlights of it, people just clip the most craziest things. And the chat just goes in unison.
Just see the chat go crazy.
Just in unison. When you see everyone doing the same emoticons at the same time, it just you're in for a good time.
It's the epitome of a hive mind. So yeah, and I mean this is kind of cheating, but what I'm looking forward to is I want to see like where does Twitch go from here, because like back in the day it was just people like just kids playing on their TV like just by themselves. Now it's getting more produced. It's getting really big. You have people like Ninja on there who's getting 300,000, 400,000 people watching him.
Yeah, you basically have all the YouTubers that are transferring over there as their first source of revenue or business or entertainment.
Like before it was like, I mean, why would I go on Twitch? I have YouTube. Now Twitch is
the other way around.
Being considered like seriously as a source of revenue. So I just want to see like how big this thing really grows.
Plus it's more interactive.
No, absolutely.
Like the whole you mentioned the whole Twitch thing. I mentioned this last week. If you time it right, you know, least expected. If you're very active, like in a chat for like some of your favorite streamers, you get rewarded pretty well, recognized. So maybe some people will tell you, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" Everyone's being positive too.
No, I mean, I'm like convinced, like Twitch, that is just the way of the future, and I want to see how big it gets.
Very good.
All right.
Wow. Very solid thing to look forward to.
Henrik?
What am I looking forward to this week? I think last week I mentioned I was watching anime more still. Steins Gate Zero is still airing for me. That's about to wrap up like in a month, I think. It's very good. In terms of what I was consuming before that, I actually was checking out something video game related this week. Okay. There's this game that's free on PSN right now called
Fortnite.
I
thought that was paid.
I don't know if you're serious.
I don't think so.
Well, this guy at GameStop sold me Fortnite.
Like for $50?
It was $60.
Let me get your money back.
All right, what game is it?
There's this game. I held this off for a while because like I've been watching so much anime. I'm gonna be looking forward to that this week, but to kind of just change things up a bit. In anticipation of something I'm looking forward to in the next 20 months that actually has to do with this. It's called The Adventures of Captain Spirit. The best. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's set in the same universe as Life is Strange.
Yes, exactly. It's basically a prequel to the upcoming Life is Strange. If you guys don't know, Life is Strange 2 is coming out in September, and Life is Strange, the original, is one of my favorite games. One of my favorite click and point adventure games.
I've been meaning to play that.
Telltale. One of the better click and because it's very interactive and actually a solid story, and there's like, man, it's one of the more unique games I played. Life is Strange. I think it's been a couple years now that I played that. One of my favorite games of all time. Like I said, it's kind of like The Walking Dead, click and point.
Yeah, choice based.
Very choice based, but it's very more. I want to say it's more fluid. Mm-hmm. It's more engaging. It's not as say like the choices are not really too locked in. They give you more to work with. I think. What I'm looking for about this one. The adventures of Captain Spirit. Just to give some context about spoiling, you take control of this kid. I think he's like
5.
No, I think he's older than that.
He's probably about 10.
Yeah, I think like 10 or 13. And basically, the Life is Strange series is known to have
don't spoil anything.
Elements that make the world more interesting than what it is.
Time travel.
The first one was about time travel.
Is that a spoiler?
That is not a spoiler. No, that's actually one of the selling points of the game.
Okay.
This one is interesting because it deals with. It doesn't. I don't think it deals with time travel. It actually deals with like an actual power, a power you can have that you're controlling.
Kind of a
power of friendship.
It's the Force, pretty much.
Okay.
It's the Force, but when you actually use you use like the Force or something. But the actual content, like the actual story they made you, because I'm like, oh, it's just a kid playing in his room with like toys, and he's making a story like, oh, Mr. Bear, I'm gonna tuck you. As a kid, you play with your toys and you make stories out of it. As soon as you get out of his room, there's a story, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh wait, there's a story in this game?
It's so relatable. I don't want to spoil it because it makes you feel like. Does he makes you feel like
this is what does he have?
So you're saying that what he does in his room kind of has ramifications on the world around him.
Yes, it does because it's not normal. That's why it's called Life is Strange.
Yeah, I dig it.
I've been playing. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm already intrigued because it's a combination of that, but also what Life is Strange is known to have. There's kind of like how I was mentioning, hey Arnold, we have mentioned these shows and they're all like relatable stuff. Life is Strange is known to have some really to tackle some serious topics, issues.
That I do remember from the first game.
It can range from anything from like bullying to like inferiority, dealing with adults, or what your life is like a kid. This one's kind of the same thing too, except it gets worse in a good way.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Life is Strange 2 that's coming out in September. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I should play those games.
You should. Yeah. It's good. It's one of my favorites. In the past few years.
All right.
Everyone check it out.
Sinan?
Yeah, I got to Stress Relief, the Office episode.
Oh God!
In my most recent rewatch of that show, it's the perfect show that just to do before you go to sleep.
Absolutely.
That's the famous episode where Michael starts yelling, "Oh my God, it's happening!"
Oh my God!
And the office is on fire.
Probably one of the most
Everybody come down!
It's definitely up there.
That clip alone I can watch.
You see Kevin throwing a chair through the vending machine. And then the stuff that happens with Dwight.
Sounds like a wrestling.
He sets the office on fire for fire.
I love that episode. That's just one of my favorite lines. I love it's such a good episode.
Can you tell us what the line is?
Well, it's when they're having a conference with David Wallace, and he's like staring at the window, and he's just like, because he's trying to like go on the other side of the table, and he just looks out and he says, "The city," like he's trying to be like, I don't know why, it's just such a stupid line, and I do that all the time whenever I'm somewhere. I'll just look out the window, and I'll say, "Oh, the city."
What?
It's such a stupid line. It's just like perfect. Perfect Michael though.
There's just so much that happens in that episode. There's the CPR scene where Dwight like cuts off the face of the dummy.
Is it really necessary?
Hey, that
it cost us $3,500.
Wait, $5,300?
It cost you $5,300. But in terms of what I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to get back into Dead Cells. I played it a little bit when it was in early access.
You started it with, you're going to end it with it.
Yeah, played it back in October.
We have been doing a lot of promoting. Dead Cells will we expect a royalty check.
I want to go into it just looking at the game despite all that content.
Just the procedurally generated.
Because I've actually heard good things about it. I mean, the review itself, I actually looked. It's like, hey, this actually seems like a good game.
Procedurally generated. I think I heard that lingo.
If you say No Man's Sky, I swear to.
No, I'm making a joke that I heard that from the review.
Oh. But yeah, it's a fun procedurally generated levels that shouldn't be the same. You kind of get an experience every time you die. I'm looking forward to get back into it. There was a lot of stuff that's happened since Black Close to.
Okay, I have a question. How much is it?
I think it's $20.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Actually, I think I bought it for $14.99 when it was in early access. I'm told. What the price is for the full game. Also looking to possibly trying out Monster Hunter World for the PC.
Because Rathalos is in Smash.
Didn't play it when it came out on consoles in January. I feel that game got a lot of praise when it came out.
I have friends that have been wanting me to play that forever. I just haven't.
So we're doing this. We're doing Monster Hunter.
We're doing this tonight. That's what's happening.
Let's do it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's what I got for the week.
Well, that's awesome. Very well. There are a lot of things to look forward to. I think we mentioned last week. As the year goes by, since we're now in August, a lot of games are gonna start coming out.
Yeah,
a lot of good ones.
It's certainly going to be more than enough content.
Don't be surprised when time goes by. We're going to be talking about probably a lot of games that are coming because it's going to be that season.
Don't be surprised if this podcast about pop culture starts talking about games.
Which we can, we don't mind doing.
All right.
But yeah,
any
closing
thoughts?
You have more salt.
I'm so salty.
You are very salty.
I'm really salty.
You need some water.
I want to fight someone right now.
I will fight you.
That's it. See you guys next week, same time, same upload date.
Please don't plagiarize.
Cue the outro.